Welcome back, warrior. We are on 2nd Nephi chapter 23 now, and we've been writing a lot of notes this last bit, so that's good news. So here we go, 2nd Nephi 23. The summary here is: destruction of Babylon is a type of destruction at second coming. It shall be a day of wrath and vengeance. Oh no, one of my pages are stuck. Let's see if I can finish reading the top. Look at this, look at this. Sometimes this happens. Moisture gets on your page. Obviously, this wasn't like this before. I was able to highlight some things. Look at this. Okay, so yeah. I'll just finish reading the top part, and then we'll move right along to the other one. It says, Babylon the world shall fall forever. Compare Isaiah 13. Okay, we'll leave you there. Good thing we don't actually read it from those pages anyway. So here we go. The burden of Babylon, aka the world, which Isaiah the son of Amos, I don't know if you knew this, but I'm really bad at names. I just need to get a little bit more practice with tons of different names. Okay. The burden, okay, son of Amos did see. Okay. Verse 2, lift up a banner upon the high mountain, exalt the voice unto them, shake the hand, that they may go into the gates of the nobles. I have commanded my sanctified ones, I have also called my mighty ones, for mine anger is not upon them that rejoice in my highness. The noise of the multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts mustereth the hosts of the battle. They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, yea, the Lord, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. Wow. Like, whose side do you want to be on, right? Okay, so verses 1-5 commentary says, Babylon was a symbol of the wickedness of the world. This chapter contains a dual prophecy, the destruction of Babylon, which is like the destruction of the world at the second coming of Jesus Christ. Isaiah speaks of a banner or ensign that is to be put up on a high mountain so all can see. The Lord is gathering his forces. The banner is what armies would follow and then gather to. Who is the army? Verse 3, the sanctified ones, or those who have been made holy through Christ. I believe that that's like a choice that we choose to make. Do we choose Christ? Do we choose to become holy through him? And then in verse 4, noise can also be translated as voice. And therefore, these sanctified ones from a great army. Okay, so who's in the army? It's those that have been made holy through Christ, and the voice are the ones that, like with voice, I don't get that one. Oh, like because people are rejoicing. So those who rejoice with their voice, right? Okay. And then, so how do you rejoice, right? How do you rejoice in Jesus Christ? How do we rejoice? Okay, verse 6. Howl ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. Therefore shall all hands be faint. Every man's heart shall melt, and they shall be afraid. Pangs and sorrows shall take hold of them. They shall be amazed one at another. Their faces shall be as flames. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, cruel both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. Sounds intense. Okay, so the wicked will not be able to stand up to the power of the Lord, for he is almighty. The description of the wicked as their fate becomes clear is truly sad. Their hands will be faint, their hearts will melt, they shall be afraid. Their sorrows will take hold of them, and they will be amazed. Their faces shall be as flames is poetry. For example, it can mean that they are experiencing intense pain or are red with shame. Or it could be like ugly crying. Ugly crying can also be a good description of that. Their faces shall be as flames. Or if you're like, excuse me. Or if like you like rock and roll and you like Jack Black, you might think of School of Rock and him talking about melting faces, which, you know, is kind of funny, but not going to be funny at that time. That's for sure. So whose side are we going to be on? I do not want hands to be faint because my hands are already faint. The hearts shall melt and people will be afraid, and the sorrows will take hold of them. I think that the one thing that I am so grateful for is that my sorrows no longer take hold of me for very long, because I have that hope in Jesus Christ. But I remember a time when I didn't feel or think that there was any hope, because that's what Satan was trying to shield me from. He was trying to shield me from my hope in Christ. And he was trying to get me to not see him. And he was distracting me. He was distracting me with my own pain. And I think that that is a normal thing that we can all experience. That Satan is going to attack us that same way every time. He's going to put all of our pain right in front of us so that we get distracted from the hope that lies beyond. And it is so hard to get out of that. And it's so hard also to like show people that there's hope after your pain, because when you're in pain, you just want to be validated, and you don't want to know that it's going to get better. I mean, you want to know that it's going to get better, but you don't want to know that it's going to get better. Sometimes you just want to feel that pain. You just want to sit there. You want to be that victim because you feel like if you're that victim, that means maybe you can get back at somebody. Maybe you can fight back. And I have found that the only fighting back that is worth it and that actually helps me is when I can fight the adversary, when I can fight Satan back. He is the one that is the one causing me all this extra pain. And so why not target my revenge towards him? You know what I'm saying? And so and what does he not like us to do? He doesn't like us to serve God, because when we are in the service of our fellow being, we are in the service of our God, and he doesn't love us serving God. So when we can serve others, it kills him. And it's the best feeling ever. And this is why what I love to teach is to use your skills and uncover those gifts that God has given us. Serve those around you, and you will be able to crush Satan, and he will, and as you crush him, you'll be able to see the hope that he is trying to blind you from. You'll be able to see Christ, because you'll need Christ to be able to overcome some of those hurdles that come when you're trying to serve using your gifts and your talents. So anyways, it's beautiful that way. And that's why I strongly believe that that's where those tools are the ones that we have been blessed with to get us out of those pits of sorrow and get us moving, you know? Okay, verse 10. For the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light. The sun shall be darkened in his going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine. So these are some signs that are going to be shown. And I will punish the world for evil and the wicked for their iniquity. I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and will lay down the haughtiness of the terrible. I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. Okay, so till verse 12. So there will be clear signs in the last days. These signs can be literal, symbolic, or both. And what is clear in these verses is that the signs will be clear and for all to see. Consider the signs at Jesus' birth and death. All saw them, but only some understood them. and prepared themselves because of what they had seen. I will make a man more precious than fine gold. Ophir was a fine gold that kings would import. The idea Isaiah seems to be teaching here is that the destruction will be so great that many will perish, leaving few behind. Okay, and then verse 13 to 16 says, therefore I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place in the wrath of the Lord of hosts, and in the day of his fierce anger. So great destruction is going to happen. And it shall be as the chased roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up, and they shall every man turn to his own people, and flee every one into his own land. Every one that is proud shall be thrust through, yea, and every one that is joined to the wicked shall fall by the sword. Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished. Okay, so that stuff is no good. You know what I'm saying? With the people. And the kids. When you bring in the children and hurting them, that's when it's on. Okay, a roe is like a gazelle. Picture a gazelle that is being chased, or a lost sheep with no shepherd. This is how man will be as the destruction is occurring. This is the fate of the wicked. Okay. Verse 17 to 19. Yeah. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver and gold, nor shall they delight in it. Their bows shall also dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children. And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, and the beauty of the Chaldees, excellency, shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay, so the Medes was an army from Persia that had successfully crushed Babylon. Chaldees was a name often used to describe Babylonians. These verses show how complete and truly terrible the destruction of Babylon the world will be. Babylon, who was once a great city, will be completely desolate instead of bustle. Oh, okay. The world will be, sorry, I jumped ahead. Okay, now I need to read 20 to 22, and then I can read the other part. Okay, so it shall never be inhabited, neither shall it dwell in from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. But wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there. And the wild beasts of the islands shall cry in their desolate houses, and dragons, or aka maybe wild dogs, in their pleasant palaces. And her time is near to come, and her day shall not be prolonged. For I will destroy her speedily, yea, for I will be merciful unto my people. But the wicked shall perish. Okay, so says Babylon, who was once a great city, will be completely desolate. Instead of a bustling city, animals will inhabit the empty houses. Speaking of complete desolation in cities, I just read something about Mr. Beast and Mark Rober, who went and did like some random camp out at this place. What was it called? Hold on one second. Okay, it is. Okay, so it was a vacant city called Kupari, and it's in Croatia. Anyways, I guess they used to use it for like military, and it used to be like this bustling city. Anyways, if you want to know what a desolate city is going to look like, you can go check that out. But I just thought it was kind of funny that they brought this up here in the scriptures, and that I had just barely seen that. And so I was like, hey, maybe you could go look at that and see what their experience was like in that uninhabited city, right? Because it was just like, there's just like empty hotels and buildings there. And I guess people used to go there for like a tourist attraction or whatever, but then something happened. I don't know all the details. Please do not ask me of those details. You can go Google it and figure that out, because that is as much information as I know. But I do know that I saw pictures of Mr. Beast and Mark Rober and team. They were like camped out in like sleeping bags and things. It did look gorgeous for like the sunset or the sunrise. But other than that, I was like not interested. I'm not a very I don't like camping. I like to have my bathrooms. You know what I'm saying? Especially with this perimenopause, you can't just go camping all the time. It just doesn't work. Okay, so kind of you ladies know what I'm talking about if you're in my spot. Okay, so yeah. Anyway, that was random. So yeah. So instead of bustling city, animals will inhabit the empty houses. Okay. Isaiah's prophecies capture how truly powerful the Lord is compared to man's boasting strength. No nation can stand against the Lord. Babylon is a wonderful comparison of the world because Babylon had reached such great heights in the ancient world. Babylon's army was great. Their buildings were like no other. They had even created one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, the Hanging Gardens. But what is Babylon's power compared to the Lord's? Nothing. It will become desolate. So there you have it. That's pretty crazy and wild. So that is all that we have for chapter 23. I already read the Read It, Live It in the last one because it applied to this chapter. But I did want to read, no, I guess that we can save it for tomorrow. Save it for the next chapter, which could be read tomorrow or could be read today. And yeah, I think that's it. And they didn't have any quotes here for chapter 23. So that, I think it's just like a lot of that destruction. So we're not going to invent more stuff. Thanks for showing up, reading your scriptures, and being able to connect with Christ in this way. And we'll see you tomorrow. Stay strong, warrior.